I always love it when it works the first try. It always makes me so incredibly pleased when I get it right the first try. I don't always get it right the first try, but sometimes I do. And I'm just, you know how I like to do this. I like to, you know what? I'm giving it all away before I even begin. Let me just turn that off. Woo-hoo. That's actually what we're going to be talking about today. But I had the wrong screen up, so that's okay. We're gonna be just fine. So let's just do that. We'll mute that away. Everything looks good, and let's just check in on the streams to make sure that everything is. I haven't clicked the LinkedIn go live yet, and I know there are people waiting on LinkedIn for me. Oh, I don't know if you can hear that cacophony of noise that's going on in the background. That's my YouTube collaborator there. She's only 12 years old and she gets more views than I do. I don't know how that works out, but if I could go back in time to when I was 12, maybe I could figure out how to get more views on YouTube. I'm not kidding you. My YouTube collaborator is 12 years old, happens to be one of my children, and she posts these videos where she just makes tea and videos herself making tea, and she gets like 2,000 views in 10 minutes. I guess that's more exciting than learning how to grow your business, because it takes me like a month to get 2,000 views on a video. She gets 2,000 views in 10 minutes. She can teach me something someday. I will tell you this heartwarming story while we're waiting for people to show up, and I want to say a quick hello and gesture of gratitude to my dear friend, Cicely Simpson, who is showing up here on the live on LinkedIn. Please connect with her. Find her comment. If you're here on LinkedIn, find her comment, connect with her, especially because you want to check out what she does at 9:30 on tomorrow morning, on Thursday morning. So my 9-year-old son comes into me today, and he comes in after school, and he comes in and we're just kind of talking, and he sees I'm working on YouTube stuff. And I'm just vamping right now until we actually get going. I have some really important stuff to share with you today. But he says to me, he goes, Dad, I think I'm going to make a video. I'm going to post it on my YouTube channel, and it's going to be my first video. And then I'm going to send a message to all my friends and have them go watch it and like it. And then YouTube is going to suggest my videos to more people like them. And I'm staring at him as he's saying this. And first thing I'm trying to do is I'm trying to figure out, did he take my class? Did he take my YouTube class? But I know he hasn't. And so I said to him, I said, that's exactly what I teach. That's what I teach in my YouTube class. That's the exact strategy. I'm like, where did you learn that? And he looks at me, and just a matter of fact, he goes, must be in our blood. And then he walks out. Must be in our blood. That's where he figured out how to build a YouTube audience. Good kid, 9 years old. We'll see what happens to him. All right, here we go. We got a bunch of people over here on LinkedIn. I'm so inspired that you're here, and I'm checking in over on YouTube. We got some people on YouTube as well, and then Facebook, which is always fun to see if anybody ever shows up on Facebook. I don't think people use Facebook as much as they used to, but we do see LinkedIn is where the party's at. I learned that from Cicely Simpson. She told me that LinkedIn is where the party is at. Yeah, the 9-year-old boy said that to me. The 9-year-old said that to me. And when I asked him where he learned it, he just said, "Yeah, it's in our blood." So they're picking it up. I mean, hey, listen, if you whatever you do as a professional, you sit around your dinner table, I'm sure you talk about your core competency, and if you have children and they're sitting at the dinner table, they're probably going to pick up on it as well. So the kids are amazing, and I look forward to seeing whatever they come up with. All right, so we got some important stuff to talk about tonight, and I want to talk to you about the number one kind of email that you should never send to your prospects. I'm actually going to show you an example, and I came up with this concept today because I got this email today, and it's I don't check email all that much. Anybody who knows me knows don't email me, because I check email like once every 2 or 3 years. I'll check email. I just happened to be in email today, and I saw this email come in. And this will be very illuminating for you, because I'm willing to bet that most of you don't know this type of email exists. So for those of you who don't know me, it's Chris Prouty. I have built an online school that takes and synthesizes my 21 years of experience in helping entrepreneurs and experts grow their businesses. And in my online school, we have many different classes that you can take that will teach you how to attract clients to your business. We have a class that's specifically on Facebook and LinkedIn. We have another one specifically on YouTube. We have a pitch class that will teach you how to pitch your idea in a networking event, all different types of classes, and including my flagship mastermind, which is called Growth Galvanized, which is elite entrepreneurs who get together and keep each other accountable. And I train them and teach them. And we go through a whole bunch of great stuff. And those people are growing rapidly. We try to get people in the intro classes to about 6 figures a year. And then once we come into Growth Galvanized, it's full steam ahead to 7 figures. So, hey, if that sounds interesting to you and you want to see what it's like to be taught by me, well, that's why I created this link right here. It's proutyclass.com. Prouty's my last name. You might have figured that out by now. Class is what I'm delivering, and I'm actually delivering one tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern.com. You need to be on the internet. You just go there. All the details are on that page. Give me your first name and your email, and I'll send you an invitation to a free workshop that teaches you how to start attracting clients through social media. Quick hello to Michelle. Michelle, it is so great to see you. Michelle and I got together last week and chatted. Michelle has got some amazing here's what's interesting about Michelle, and you'll see her in the LinkedIn chat. Michelle has, and boy, Cicely, thank you for putting that link in the chat as well. Proutyclass.com, we'll get you there. Michelle has had some of the most robust experience in her personal career, and it is, all of it is very go-getter type stuff, and Michelle is synthesizing all of that into her current job, which I'm not going to talk too much about because I want to make sure I don't want to violate any privacy. But Michelle is really good at appointment setting. So please go to LinkedIn, connect with Cicely, connect with Michelle, especially if you work in the healthcare industry. Connect with Michelle. She's going to get you some clients. All right. So I'm going to talk to you about this email that I received today. And we're going to get a little technical today, and we're going to dissect this email. So if you're an entrepreneur, I just hit my microphone. If you're an entrepreneur or an expert and you're trying to market your business through email, you know it can be very difficult to get the attention of the reader through email because, first of all, attention spans are very short. Second, people get flooded with emails. But I will tell you this, email is an incredible mechanism for marketing right now. The return on investment, according to like HubSpot, is like 43,000%. Or for every maybe it's 43 times, whatever it is. For every dollar you spend on email marketing, you get about $43 back. That is a tremendous ROI. Compare that to, say, Facebook ads, where we look for like a 1.7, 1.75 times ROI, spend $1, make $1.75 back. Email should be a part of your marketing strategy. And when you use email, you can get with and directly to the person that you wish to be marketing to. But like all things, you can go really wrong with email. And you can make some pretty big mistakes. And you can make mistakes to the point where it will kill your business, especially if email is your primary mechanism for marketing your business. So we don't want that. And I'm going to show you an email that was sent today that just completely blows my mind. So let's do this. I don't, without any further ado, and just really quickly, with a little ado, there's going to be just a little more ado, and that is this. It's this link right here for those that are just joining us. Proutyclass.com. Register for the free workshop that I'm delivering Thursday, 3 p.m. live. No replay on that because I want you here with me to ask questions. Hour and a half, I'm going to be teaching you a bunch of really cool stuff. Probably going to tell you about my online school as well, and you'll get to hear about that. Just want to be completely transparent with you. You'll get to hear about my online school. Might even make an offer for you to come in and work with me as one of my clients. And if you want to, that would be great. And if you don't want to, well, that's cool too. Be on your own. So let's take a look at this real quick. I want to show you, this was the subject of the email that came in right here. I just had to switch my screen around. So here's the subject of the email. RE:, which means, reply. This appears to be a reply or regarding, whatever RE stands for. Either stands for reply or regarding. at :/ shoot for Friday. So this person, and I've done my best to sanitize this so that we don't embarrass anyone, because I'm sure the person that sent this email is incredibly well-meaning, and they're just trying to grow their business, and no one's taught them any better. Our parents didn't teach us how to send emails with authenticity and integrity and honesty. Our parents didn't teach us that, and we probably didn't learn it in elementary school or even high school. We didn't learn this anywhere, right? So this person didn't know. We're just going to presume that this person just didn't know any better and that they were well-meaning and they simply just didn't know any better. I'll zoom in on this just a little bit so you can see. So it's shoot for Friday. Oh, I tried to sanitize this, but I guess I didn't do such a good job. But that's all right. So let's take a look at the let's take a look at the email itself. Sometimes I goof up. Sometimes I mess up a little bit. So I'm going to show you this email, and we're going to dissect this thing. And I'm going to try to take you through this in a very logical way. So this is the email that was at the top of my this was the email that I opened. And we'll read this in a moment. But what I want to show you is that I've got this whole thread of emails here. So we're going to be going through each of these. And I'm going to reveal some very interesting things to you. So right at the very top of my email, I see this. I open this up and it says, Christopher, we haven't been able to connect. So right away, I see that we haven't been able to connect. I think for me, if you're trying to connect with me through email, best wishes. You'll at this point, if you email me, you'll hear back from me in 2025. Just because I don't use email, I just don't use email. It doesn't work with my communication style. So Christopher, we haven't been able to connect. Now that doesn't surprise me, but a normal email user, that might be you. A normal email user is going to be like, well, wait a minute, we haven't been able to connect. This person's trying to connect with me. And this email, the subject line was regarding shoot for Friday. Well, what could that even mean? So perhaps you don't have any ongoing projects that need an expert team of developers and engineers, and that's okay. So right away, that first line's it's just kind of weird. Because I think if you were just writing to someone and this was like the third email that you were exchanging with them, you wouldn't launch into a sales pitch in the first line. So right away, my squirrel sense just kicks right in, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. You don't have any ongoing projects that need an expert team of developers and engineers. Okay, I see what's going on here. You're pitching me right in the first sentence. You're slamming me right in the very first sentence. So right away, my squirrel sense kicks in, and I start to say, well, what's going on here? I know that all projects are different, so I'll happily leave the conversation here for now. Okay. Well, if you were just going to leave the conversation here, you didn't even have to send me this email because you would have just left it. But okay, I'm going to presume that you're still well-meaning and you just haven't learned email, how to use email for marketing. If I'm actually catching you at a time when you want to connect, how about a quick call Thursday? So the diametric opposite of the first of the second line. I'll leave the conversation here for now, and then how about a quick call on Thursday? So that's like going to a restaurant, sitting down, and I'm going to leave you to look at the menu for a little while and decide what you want to eat. How about the escargot? This just doesn't make sense in the way this is flowing. And if you spent time with me yesterday and you looked at how we dissect a LinkedIn profile to see if it's fake, a lot of the same characteristics are here. The language patterns don't make sense. I'm going to leave the conversation here for now. How about a call tomorrow? Doesn't make sense that you would say that. And why, if this is in fact the third email that you've sent me, why are you pitching me in the first sentence? Again, your squirrel sense should be going off. Your sneaky squirrel sense should be going off that there's a sneaky squirrel at the other end of this email. So then I'm like, well, all right, I can see that there's something below this. By the way, this is a screen capture of my email. We're not actually in my email program right now. And so I block off this person's name. So then I see on Friday, August 5th, this person wrote to me, "Happy Friday, Christopher." At this point, I'm wondering if I dropped into the wrong inbox. So a person who doesn't do marketing is just going to look at that and they're going to panic because, wait a minute, what's going on here? A person who does do marketing knows that that is an introductory line that is just used to incite just a little bit of concern or panic on behalf of the reader. And so that's a very calculated line right away. So again, super secret squirrel sense goes off and I'm like, there's something up with this email. Then I'll try to do my best to research before sending an initial email, but perhaps I miscalculated this time. Okay. If you're not the right person to talk to about partnering with your firm for your back-end developer WordPress needs, or you'd simply like to speak with a colleague first, could you connect us? Much appreciated. So now I'm like, well, wait a minute. This was on Friday. I don't see any subject line or anything like that. So that elicits a little bit of interest. And then I noticed that on Tuesday, August 2nd, this person appears to have written, Christopher, do you remember that line in A New Hope where Luke is trying to talk to Han about rescuing Lee? Oh my gosh. Like A New Hope came out when I was 7. I don't remember a lot from when I was 7, and I don't remember a line from A New Hope. That is that's a real stretch to ask me about that. But, okay. So no, I don't remember it. Clients are Han Solos. They've got big ideas. I haven't even really read this. We augment your firm's development, blah, 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 blah. Would it be worthwhile to connect, say, Friday? Best as always. Okay, so this person is clearly trying to follow up with me. So now I want to reveal something very interesting to you. When I see something like this, I'll go full screen so we can chat, and then I will come back to sharing this with you. Pardon me one second while we can just go full screen. There we go. So when I see something like this and I see this string of messages, it always elicits a little bit of curiosity for me. I'm a curious fellow and I happen to teach people how to market their businesses. So I'm curious as to this 3 email thread. I'm curious. Like, well, this is somebody who's clearly persistent. They're persistent over about a week's worth of time. They're really trying to get time on my schedule. So the first thing I want to do is I want to look at these original messages. So I go through my email seeking out these messages. And let's just go back over here really quickly. So I go through my email and I'm looking for this one that came in on Tuesday, August 2nd, because I just want to see it. I want to see what the subject line was. Again, I'm curious. And then I want to see this one that came in on August 5th. Well, here is the earth-shattering information for you. Those emails weren't in my box. They weren't in my email. They weren't in my email. They weren't in my spam. They weren't in my clutter. Those emails were nowhere. They were never sent to me. I looked. I searched. I searched for the dude's name, searched for his email, searched for his domain, searched for the subject lines, searched for words within those emails, looked everywhere. Did a completely unfiltered search. If those emails existed in my email system, in my Outlook, which is what I use, I would have found them. Those emails didn't exist anywhere. Those emails were never sent to me to begin with. This email, this entire email that I'm showing you right here, was the very first email that was ever sent. And what this person did, let me just go back over here. What this person did was they constructed, now this is the important part, guys, you really got to listen to this, and I know this might sound complex, but it's really not. This, from here, all the way down to the bottom, all 3 emails with this on Tuesday, August 2nd, 2022 at 11:17 a.m., and this one here, look at that, August 5th at 11:17 a.m. I didn't see that before. We'll talk about that in a second. So this whole thing that you're looking at was constructed to trigger a logical and an emotional response from me. The emotional response is, holy smoke, this person's been writing to me and I haven't written back to them. The logical response is that I'm not seeing these emails. I need to figure out where these things are. So this person is pulling at you're going to have to start looking for this. They're trying to pull at your and my emotional and logical strings to try to get me to do a couple of things. First, respond to them. Second, to read every email. Because if you care about email, which That's not me. I don't care about email. But if you care about email, you're going to be looking at these things going, shoot, this person's been writing to me and I haven't seen these things. So now you're going to go down and you're going to be reading these things to see what you missed. There's a little bit of FOMO in there. Like, what did I miss out on by missing these emails? So you're going to go through and you're going to read all of these things. So this is a very skillfully crafted email, almost to the untrained eye, to the untrained reader, because it gets you to read 3 emails from them and they only had to send you 1 email. Because they're pulling on a bunch of your psychological strings to get you to do that. Can you see this? And so if they can get you to read all of these 3 things, they've just gotten 3 times the amount of attention from you than they would have normally gotten with just 1 email, because they're pulling psychological strings on you. So what this person did, let's just be very clear on this. What this person did was they constructed an email, one big long email. I'm showing you the whole thing right now. And in this, they made it look like they had sent 3 different emails and they were doing one final attempt at getting a hold of you. But this was actually just them typing this, then their signature, then if you no longer wish to receive these advertisements, please respond with stop, which is the worst way to opt out of an email sequence because you have to reply to it. It totally fits inside the Can Spam Act and it's totally legitimate to be able to do that, but that is just so sketch. Just give people 1 click to unsubscribe. In my emails right there, it says, hey, Chris, stop emailing me. You click on that, you're unsubscribed instantly. That's the right way to do it. That's the authentic way to do it. This makes you take action. It's still compliant, so that's fine. What this person did was they wrote these lines here, their signature, then they put this in, then they wrote these lines here with their signature, then they put this line in, then they wrote these lines here, and they made it look like 3 emails. So they pull on my psychological triggers, which I've talked about enough by now. This I just noticed, which I didn't notice before, was the timestamp. On Tuesday, August 2nd at 11:17 a.m., this person wrote, and then again on Friday, August 5th at 11:17 a.m. I'm sorry, there's no one that's that organized where they're sending out they're sending out an email on that exact time. It just doesn't work that way. Even if you're using an autoresponder or anything like that, it just doesn't work that way. P.S., because we're talking about email, they're making this look like they were writing directly to me, but clearly not. So what they did here was they wrote, let's see, up here. See, this one came in at 2:17 p.m. And then here they just wrote this and they picked an arbitrary time, 11:17 a.m. And then they copied this line and pasted it here and just changed the date, but they were sloppy and they didn't change the time. That's what happened there. And you can count on that. Okay, so why shouldn't you do this? So first of all, let me just hop back over here and go full screen with you. And I just want to check in with you really quickly in the chats. I want to make sure this is all making sense to you. If you are here with me now, can you just pop a 1 in the chat if this is making sense to you? Or if you need me to cover that in more detail. I just want to make sure that you understand what I just explained to you. I certainly do hope that you do. But if you don't, I want to explain it so that it's super, super clear. And I'm just going through all the chats right now. Clearly LinkedIn is the place to be. So I'll just give you a second. I'm going to take a quick hydration while you do that. But just pop a 1 in. All right, I get a couple of 1s coming in. So it's clear what's going on here. Thank you very much for those 1s. I really do appreciate that. I do that simply because I want to make sure that what I've explained to you is clear, and if you need me to review anything, I'll do that. Okay, so let's talk about why you shouldn't do this. The number 1 reason why you shouldn't do this is because it is being dishonest with your prospect. Whether or not they figure this out, you're being dishonest with your prospect. Because you're sending them what appears to be an email thread that they've missed. So item number 1, you're being dishonest. If your prospect ever, if your prospect happens to catch this broadcast, I've not seen this taught anywhere. I've seen this methodology taught, but I've never seen anyone openly talking about it like this. But that's part of my responsibility to you, is to teach you these things. So number one, you're being dishonest. Number two, you're deceiving, which is similar to dishonesty, but you're trying to deceive someone. That's not very good. Number three, you are pulling at psychological strings you're pulling at psychological strings in an unethical way. See items 1 and 2, because you're lying and you're deceiving and you're pulling at psychological strings. You're tugging at someone, in an unethical way because you've lied to them and because you've deceived them. So my question is, why on earth would I ever want to work with you if our very first conversation you're lying to me? I wouldn't, ever. Let's just drive that point home. Why would I ever want to work with you if in your first conversation you're deceiving me? So that's the bigger message, guys. The message here is upfront transparency and honesty at all times. If that intrigues you and if you like the way I teach, if you like the things I teach, I would encourage you. In fact, I would implore you to go to proutyclass.com, sign up for the free workshop that I'm giving tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern. No replay on that. It's going to be live, you and me, and learn a little bit more from me. If this strikes you as interesting, I would encourage you to do that. I'm going to be giving a class that goes through the 5 steps to attracting clients through social media, stuff that you can start using right away. All you have to do is go here, pop in your name, email address. I'll send you an invite. If you give me your phone number, I'll even text you a thank you. So we don't want to lie, we don't want to deceive, and we don't want to unethically pull at psychological strings. In marketing, we always pull at psychological strings. There are tons of different psychological strings that we pull at. I hit a string as I said that. You don't get better than that. I mean, you're getting everything you paid for in this broadcast with that kind of synchronization. So we always are working at pulling at psychological strings. The needs that people have, the desires, the wants, all of those things. We're always trying to position those things, and our service can give them those things. But we only ever want to do that if we can actually do that. We never want to deceive or be unethical or any of those things. And that email is an example of an email you should never send. And if anyone ever teaches you that methodology, it is time to run in the opposite direction of that person as fast as possible. So when is it okay to send something like that? It would be okay if those first 2 emails actually got sent to me. And this person was, as a courtesy, copying and pasting them into the message that they were sending today. As a courtesy to show the thread, to save me from having to look for those things. That's the only time that it would be okay to do something like that. Now, when people sign up for like sales conversations with me, a lot of times I'll follow up with emails. And sometimes I'll send them like an offer for another program or for something new that I have going on. And if I don't hear back a couple of days later, I'll send them another one, and I'll take the original email and I'll put it in the new message. But that's only if they've received that first email. Never, ever deceive, lie, or pull a psychological trigger or string unethically like this person did. Because the moment a lot of things happen here. The moment you're found out, even just by one prospect, you're done. You're done. Your business is going to fail, and you're going to be poor. And the other reason you don't want to do it is when you lie or when you deceive, you attract people to you who will lie and deceive. And we don't want that. We want to attract people to you who are like you, who make decisions and act quickly, who are truthful to you and do the things that they say they're going to do. If you lie and deceive and you do things unethically, that's the kind of person you're going to attract to you. We don't want that. Okay? We want good clients. We want good prospects. We want people that we enjoy speaking with and that we're inspired to work with. And you get that by being inspiring, by enjoying the people that you're communicating with, and becoming the person that you want to attract to you. That's why you'll always hear me say, be honest, be transparent, do what you say you're going to do, and make sure that the results that you're delivering are the ones that you say you can deliver, and nothing more. And keep things as simple as possible. All right? So wrapping this one up for tonight, that's the email that you should never send. No matter who teaches you to do it, always look at things with an eye and a filter of transparency and honesty and integrity and authenticity, and attract people to you who are honest and transparent and authentic. When you act that way, that's who you will attract to you. Let's go into the chat. I see some stuff going in. Thank you for the ones, for the people who agree. Michelle says, my thoughts exactly. Deception is so off-putting. Chris, in any of your courses, do you address appropriate and honest ways to build rapport with automated email? So in one of my courses, we talk about content creation and content creation that can be used across all different modalities, including email. This content creation, we talk about the use of frameworks that allow you to communicate with authenticity and integrity, but also demonstrate that you know exactly what the prospect is looking for. That's actually in my very first intro course to using social media to attract clients. And then we go further into that in the mastermind in Growth Galvanized. In Growth Galvanized, we spend a whole month on that, but we have a full hour on it, and that's really what you need to get started. And thank you for asking that, Michelle. This methodology works in social, works in email, works in on stage. There's someone who used it to script a TED Talk. There's someone else who used it to script a book, an entire book. There is someone else who used it. I'm trying to think of the innovative ways, because we see them using it on social media all the time, because that's the primary target. But emails, social media, TED Talk, book, and I can't remember what they're called. I want to call them white papers, but we don't use that phrase anymore because it's not really what a white paper is. A white paper is something that came from British Parliament in the 1800s, and it was a summary of the blue paper. It just was the color of the paper that they used. But case study, that's the word I'm looking for, case studies. You can use it in a case study as well. So yes, great question. And yes, it's covered in the social media masterclass. So thank you for asking that, Michelle. I'm just going to scan through, see if there's any other questions hanging out anywhere. Nice to see people hanging out on YouTube, and then there are some great people hanging out on Facebook. I'm on a couple of different Facebook feeds right now, testing out both business and personal, just seeing what's going on over there. It looks like we've handled all the questions, and I have gone, how long have I gone? Like easily a half an hour. Yeah, it's 10:02. 10:02 here where I am. So gone more than a half an hour. So I am going to say thank you so very much for hanging out with me today. Quick recap in your emails. Be honest. Don't deceive. Have authenticity, have integrity, and do the right thing. You're going to stand out. That email that I showed you today is going to more and more become obvious of what's going on. All someone had to do was search for that person in their email, and they would have seen that there was at no time any other email that was ever sent. And that means that person's very first conversation with me, their very first interaction with me, my first impression of them is that they lied to me. I will never work with someone like that, nor will you. Remember that, all right? Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. A bunch of people just showed up on LinkedIn. You're going to have to rewind. You're going to have to shuttle this rewind and watch this, because this is a good one. There's some stuff in here. There was some stuff in this one for you guys who just showed up that I've never seen taught anywhere else. It's my job to teach that to you. All right, shutting it down for the night. I'm going to get back to work, and let me just get over to the screen where I can shut it down so that I can shut it down elegantly. I will express my deepest gratitude to you for being here with me tonight. Thank you so much for spending time with me and dedicating time to bettering yourself. I'm very, very grateful for you. I'll be back tomorrow. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow night, but I do like hanging out with you at night. Seems like a very good time. Hey, before you go, just head over here. Go register for this workshop. You're going to love it. I have so much fun teaching this thing. You'll see. Just go. Just go do this. Just go do this. Oh my gosh, there's Eileen Ryan. Eileen Ryan's checking in on the YouTube. I feel like I can't go. I feel like I have to hang out longer just because Eileen's here. I don't know what to do. Eileen, thank you so much for being here tonight. Please go over to YouTube, connect with Eileen Ryan. She gets people hired rapidly. She has a 120% success rate in getting people hired rapidly in their dream jobs. What's Eileen like? You get people hired in like 30 days, where the average person working without assistance, it's like 340 days, some bizarre number like that. She'll tell you all about it when you connect with her. I'll be back tomorrow night with more for you. And if you have ideas on stuff you want me to talk about, feel free to drop those in the comments. As soon as you're done going here to proutyclass.com and registering for the free workshop that I'm giving tomorrow, where you will learn some really cool stuff about attracting clients. All right, I'm done. Kind of vamped long enough. It was a pretty long one, Cicely. I'm out of here. Oh, you know what, Sonia, I should have shouted you out as well. Sonia's all-natural mosquito spray. Sonia is over in the LinkedIn. She's another one to connect with. An entrepreneur of extraordinary caliber who has invented an essential oil mosquito repellent that also heals mosquito bites. That is someone that you want to be connected with. So please go over and connect with her. Thanks for being here, Sonia, and everyone that was here tonight. If I didn't get to shout you